Forgive me, Sentinel, but I must sing. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another Wuthering Waves video. Today, we're going to be checking out the drip marketing for 3.7, baby. That's right, 3.7. We're already here at the end of the Mengzhou patch, one of the other regions of Huanglong, and we have both Hsin and Suoming coming up, and I'm super duper excited to be sharing this with you today. So I read, so you don't have to. We got lots of stuff to check out, so be sure to leave a like and subscribe, and let's get started on checking out what we have for you. First off, hello Infinity Castle. That's awesome. I wouldn't be surprised if there was an Infinity Castle-esque map at the end of the arc, because Hsin is a tricky fox who likes to play trick on this, and also learning from actually doing the quest. So you can check that out in the VOD section. She is not physically present, so maybe she's hiding in this Infinity Castle to protect herself from the current villains, but yeah, we'll see what's going on with her. And of course, I mean, the most anticipated character, by the way, just having a Sentinel in human form is crazy. We've only had Sentinel Resonators, but here is you know, the woman herself in the flesh. So let's go ahead and read what they have here. So Sentinel Hsin is the moon fox power can divide one into many, proliferating new forms at will. She can command such entities to divide and extend according to their essential nature, along with their consciousness, perception, and constructive essence, each taking shape as a distinct fractal form. Though each fractal form maintains its own existence, it remains tethered to the source, sharing a sensation across all proliferations, and can ultimately converge back into a single whole. Hsin the moon fox possesses exceptional mastery in construction of the mechanisms. Her grasp of the principles and governing interlocking mechanisms far surpass current day craftsmanship. By virtue of her powerful fractal proliferation, she can extrapolate, reproduce, and even reconstruct existing designs. Her handiwork can be seen in many of the ingenious devices found throughout Mengzhou city. So yes, Hsin is of course the architect of many of the robots that are inside the city, or you know, auto puppet constructs, which we now know you know, seem to have some sort of soul inside of them. And of course, just like, you know, things in Renacita, many things that you can do you know, to the power of frequencies and echoes, is that the current villain is currently using you know, souls that, you know, have anguish to make them turn bad. I want to see if I can find the stupid post. I can't. Okay, the first thing that everyone's been memeing about, okay, is that she's a fox. Get your sillies out of the way, okay? And that shit, what is it, by virtue of her power she can reproduce. And she has many, she's produced many, all converging back into a single whole. Oh no, Arbiter, look out, buddy, you're in trouble. But yes, that's gonna be her little story description. Let's go ahead and take a look at the actual piece right here. To walk among their joys and stand guard over the ever-glowing lanterns. Sentinel Hsin guides Mengzhou civilization, deeply emotional and fond of worldly joys. She has long kept the fires of mortal life burning amid the bustle and trade of the shifting seasons. Yeah, so not too much about her personality outside of I like doing fun things, and you know what, I mean, that's pretty accurate. She's, you know, not going to be the most straight-laced Sentinel of all time. She seems to be very interpersonal, but of course doesn't get to interact with it too much because she's obviously playing tricks on everybody. Somebody said that the biggest thing is that Hsin is a shapeshifter, as we kind of speculated, and she might actually be one of the NPCs, and she's just been hiding the entire thing. Somebody said Qihong, the military commander, so that would be, honestly, I would give the quest a 10 out of 10 if they did that, because I would laugh my ass off. That'd be really funny. But yeah, no, I think this is a decent amount of information I've seen, considering that we have so little to work off, especially because I haven't played 3.6 yet. You know, I think we'll get some stuff there, but not a lot. Because the next patch is really about her, and we're trying to find out the mystery of why, you know, or how like these auto puppets work. So you know, in terms of guesses, you know, we do have some combat guesses, which I'll get into after we talk about Suoming. But I mean, Rectifier, everybody pretend to be surprised. The dainty character is a Rectifier. I shock her. I'm so tired of this weapon. Oh my god. And then Electro, because Electro is the attribute that Rover already has. So it would be really weird if she wasn't that. It's not impossible for her to be something different, simply because this game simply does not concern itself with the sillies of color coordinations. But it's like 99% that she's gonna be Electro user. You'll see it tomorrow in the community post. Be sure to subscribe to see that on the weapon reveal. But let's move on to Suoming real quick, because I believe both of these characters are pretty intertwined in the sense of like they will fit on similar teams, or at least it should be that way, because I can't imagine Suoming fitting anywhere else in terms of like, you know, meta. But she's definitely cool. I mean, I hope her kid is cool. Maybe she has like the thing that they talked about, you know, for like cool visuals is that you know, they split, they make a bunch of clones of her and they all like, you know, do attacks and stuff. That'd be awesome. You know, I can't really think of anything outside of that. It'd be great to see a fox transformation as well, very similar, not necessarily to Jinshi, but Jinshi you know, summons Jue. You know, Hsin could actually turn into the moon fox itself and then like have some crazy stuff there, so that'd be awesome, especially that form in the back. That'd be cool. But let's move into Suoming, because a lot less people like this character, and immediately this music just breathes, like it breathes in your ear, it tickles it, it's crazy. Like Wuthering Waves has really good sound design like this. But yeah, a little less to go off of. We've got other people. What is it? Some puppets, some stone steels. Now, what I was interested in is that when I was looking at this, of course, we have the umbrella motif, you know, the kaleidoscope effect that we've seen in a lot of our advertising. But here we have what seem to be the trigrams, you know, that Bullying uses, because this looks almost identical, except the big core thing that I noticed that was weird is that, like, hey, there's a bunch of pillars off of these, so that's probably something I, like, you know, either don't know, like, culturally or something like that. But this item specifically, I'm like, hey, I've seen that before, we use it in game, that's pretty cool. But yeah, let's move on to Suoming's actual description. The art of frequency locking seals a fragment of the target's memory. Wait, hold on. Locking seals a target's frequency within a lock. By design, the covenant demands the subject explicit consent. Yet, should be a dying carja's consciousness begin to scatter, the bond may forcibly be forged into the moment their will breaks. Securing frequency grants the welder access to the subject's forte. Though diminished in strength, constrained by physical limits, she can anchor no more than 10 frequencies in her body, allowing her to command no more than 10 fortes. What? What? Huh? That's insane. Oh my goodness, you realize, really? Okay, let's finish the other one and then we're gonna come back to this. What? That's absurd. Let go, forget. I've heard those words 1,000 times. I've said them to myself 1,000 more, but this obsession, this is exactly what I want. Born in Wuthering, Mengzhou, she founded the 10 Seals Covenant as the Seals Master to liberate her homeland from the evil miasma. Later, by the Sentinels decree, she served independent of the Ministry of Sentinel Affairs, watching over all of Mengzhou. Okay, so yeah, because Hsin is not someone who is really present, you know, at least so far has not been very present in the affairs of the people, because Sentinels are always just out there. It looks like Suoming is like gonna be directly repping her, which is actually really interesting. Now, the craziest thing is the description of her powers. So when someone dies and their frequencies spread out, she can take said frequencies and then mimic them, you know, with, of course, to a lesser extent, right? And then she has a limit of 10. That's crazy. You realize how insane that is? That means, like, whatever Suoming's thing is, if, like, you know, assuming that this actually gets implemented, you know, story into gameplay, that she may be the missing piece that we're looking for in Electro Rove, and we'll get to that after. But this power is also very interesting because, not that it's the same, right? It's very different. The sacrifice that Frolova had to make when doing her doing her thing where she, you know, makes the Lost Beyond and, you know, has like echoes, and she's just storing a lot of frequencies. It's very interesting because Suoming seems to have, like, not because Frolova mimics powers, but Suoming seems to have that version of power, but in a very different way. She's able to do emulation through it, which is really interesting. Of course, Frolova is just like, you know, storing a lot of people, you know, while Suoming mimics. But that's really interesting. It's also very good to note that Suoming has a limit. Frolova, in theory, probably has a limit, but she's crazy. She's crazy because she probably broke her limits a long time ago. But that's crazy. This is an absurd power to be able to mimic other fortes, and I do wonder how that gets implemented in gameplay. It could be like she gets to copy other outro skills. I think that's a good way to look at it. But specifically having multis is kind of the big thing I want to talk about. And yeah, pairing these together, so like in terms of combat rules, Suoming might be another rectifier, which definitely pisses me off. But I could see her being like gauntlets, a sword. I think that's okay. Definitely not pistols. I don't think this character design really fits the pistols. No broad blades here. You know, but it's always safe to just bet on the rectifier because, gosh darn it, I mean, they just keep making those dang characters, so what are you gonna do? But yeah, let's talk about character rules, because we have a lot of stuff that's in game that's currently not being used. I mean, in general, there's a lot of stuff not being used in the game, but the biggest point of contention is going to be Electro Flare. Now, this is of course the enemy effect, technically the old effect too. This effect since has been updated into the new and modern Electro Flare, you know, which gets universally grouped in the DOT section here. But the biggest thing that people are wondering is that Electro Rover has kind of just been sitting there, right? Rover's been kind of here, and while they look awesome, they're kind of doing nothing low-key, and that's kind of the issue, because I was excited when they said, hey, they boost attack, and I'm like, oh, that's awesome. And then I actually played them, and I'm like, okay, well, this feels good, but like, low-key, I feel like this does nothing. And of course, the two big things is that Rover can deal multi-elemental damage. It's a little bit of a hodgepodge of all their previous skills, but also applies a significant bit of Electro Flare, specifically 10 stacks. And if you're curious, 10 stacks just so happens to be the limit right here with, you know, player side Electro Flare. So that's interesting. And if we want to, you know, take a refresher, Electro Flare stacks up to 10 times by default. The higher the stacks are, the more damage is dealt. At maximum stacks of Electro Flare, a new stack inflicted becomes stackable Electro Rage. Electro Rage increases the damage dealt by the next Electro Flare trigger. Electro Rage is removed once triggered. Electro Rage is 10 times by default, and the highest stacks, the more Electro Flare deals. Yes, so this is sort of a, you know, chain connection situation, whereas the old one, or I mean even older, this one is a little bit of a attack debuffer, but also you know, something that can magnetize the opponent, which is a really cool thing. I wish they stuck with this, but you know, it's understandable that they had to change it to make it easier to use. I still do miss this though, and I would hope this would come back in some different ways. So the essential thing is that you want to stack Electro Flare up, you know, like obviously that's like, well, this should be obvious, like the DOT, you know, stacking it, no duh. But you know, Fusion gets the thing where it can explode, so it can be, you know, more around people. Electro Flare is a little more single target, but the thing is that you want to stack. So Rover already with their outro skill does apply 10, so that's already good. Of course, you need to actually, or sorry, resonance skill, you need to actually get the skill you know, by upgrading in the menu, but that's fine. You know, and of course we have a bunch of other stuff in there, but that's not the only character that has Electro Flare. There's also been Buling. Buling's been a great fill-in healer, but realistically she hasn't actually done anything you know, for the stuff. She has her Forte Circuit, which is going to inflict 2 stacks of Electro Flare, and then her other inherent skill, which is also going to be 4 stacks of Electro Flare, and you can get even higher all the way up to S5, and that's only mean another 6 stacks of Electro Flare. So we got 2, what is it, plus the field that, you know, runs around every 2 seconds, so you know that, you know, times the amount of stuff. And then let's just go to the base minimum, 2 plus 4, 6, and then we do another 6, 12. So yeah, so Buling is going to help a lot, but you know, in the aspect, she's just kind of been a good healer and nothing else. Like, I don't think any really has really taken advantage of the Electro Flare, which just sucked, because it's like this character was introduced like last year, and she kind of really hasn't had anything special to do, and this should in theory be the time, especially because she's been showcased not only you know, I believe she was in Qingxiao showcase or something like that, or in the story, and you know, she's kind of from around here, so she's been referenced like several times, so it'd be weird if she didn't like have some sort of role in this, like, you know, sort of existing puzzle where like we've got Rover, who can do Electro Flare, also does multi-elemental damage, and then we also have Buling, you know, who hasn't had a specific role in the team at all. And of course, like, it would be really weird if Hsin wasn't an electric type character, just because of the simple fact that like Rover did get electric powers. Now it will be interesting to see you know, how these interact, because Rover of course can inflict Electro Flare. Does this by proxy mean that Suoming is also Electro? I don't know, to be honest. Suoming might still be Havoc, and then just is able to inflict Electro Flare or something of the sort if she ends up being that support for excuse me, for Hsin. It could also be that she copies outro skills, so you know, so like I said, if there's not something within like copying of her kit that copies another character's thing, I'll be a little disappointed if she just becomes like, I'm the Electro buffer, or I'm this, and I like, that's really boring, you know, to have those 2 Electro characters come out. There is the possibility that like, oh, the lamp on the end of the road, maybe she's Jingran's support, but I don't think they would release Jingran's support so late, and I also don't feel like Jingran really needs it. I mean, does he need it? I don't know. He's technically not out, but he's in the menu, so I'm like, I feel like he doesn't really need anything here. I think he's fine, so that should be interesting. But yeah, those are my speculations in relation to, you know, all this stuff, just kind of like gathering all the missing puzzle pieces. It is really interesting that we've come so far, that we started all the way with arrow erosion back then, and now that we've gone and we've actually cleared all of the effects, which is pretty cool. Am I the happiest with their implementation? It's okay. I still would have preferred this one, which has crowd control and attack debuffing, you know, which is, of course, it's enemy, but, you know, this is what it used to be before they actually changed it for the players, because, you know, it technically didn't have an effect that actually worked in game. So that's interesting. But yeah, that's basically it. We've got both Hsin and we've got Suoming coming in the next patch 3.7, the final patch of Mengzhou. And of course, if you want to check out everything that we're doing in Mengzhou, you can go ahead and subscribe to this channel and check out everything else that we do on the channel here. This weekend we should be doing the actual you know, story for 3.6. You know, I'm gonna watch Qingxiao's trailer and then just hop into it. Maybe split into 2 parts. It depends. It's like 5 hours, you know, we'll see. But either way, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.
For sure.